how does this affect the regular Filipino? Was the president informed about this? What did the Secretary of DOE have to say about this? Because we try to reach out, but they either don't call back or they say, sorry, we can't respond because there's a hearing tomorrow.
Okay. That's correct. There is a hearing tomorrow in the House of Representatives. The Committee on Energy will continue its deliberations on the issue, which started as early as September of last year. As to the President, knowing about this, I sincerely doubt that the President knows that something this massive happened. And I think he was blindsided on this.
Why do you say blindsided?
Well, if the President knew that this was going to happen, then he would have affixed his signature to privatize PEMC. But PEMC was never privatized. So
Yeah.
the President does not know that this happened. Now, to answer your other question, how does this affect electricity consumers? It can affect electricity consumers because when the creation of the independent market is already wrong and it starts off with a wrong foot and on a wrong foot, then that means there are no controls. There's no way that we can actually look at them, control them if they're going to increase the rates that they're collecting from our consumers. Because that 0.86 centavos per kilowatt hour can go higher, can go lower, and it really depends. And if they continue these questionable practices, God knows, maybe that will reach 2 pesos already per kilowatt hour years down the road. And the bottom line is vigilance. You're right. The bottom line is vigilance. Congress is the fiscalizer of the executive and a lot of other things. And it is the duty of Congress and congressmen like me to make sure deals like these will remain checked and will remain reviewed. I see something wrong, I have to call it out, and it has to be fixed. Moving forward, how to fix this? I believe that the contract between PEMC and IUMAP must be rescinded because it is void from the very beginning. And since it is void from the very beginning, then we have to fix this as soon as possible to rectify the situation.
Okay, now my other concern is, you brought focus to something that's rather interesting, that if you have a non-stock, non-profit, but government entity, they can make a fortune. They don't have to be accountable to anybody. And apparently, you mentioned off camera, or much earlier, you mentioned that COA can't even...
Are not allowed to. The rules are COA can look at and must look at GOCCs. But if a GOCC will not permit them, that's trouble. And in this case, PEMC insists they are not a GOCC, but in fact, they still